What's up guys, welcome back to another video. It's Alexi here. So in this video we're going to be talking about knowing yourself and coming to know yourself. So this is like coming to know yourself in terms of like your work, rest, and how you operate as a person. And you know, we all have a certain baseline of normal humanity we should reach, and after that though, everybody's kind of different. Everybody has inherently a different nature essence, as well as like the way you act, the way your personality is determined, of course, by a lot of different things you do in your life. Your past life affects how you are in this life as well. Things God preordained for you and orchestrated for you, but of course you have choices in life as well. And what you do, you know, whether you do bad things or good things and things like that, that's choices. And discipline and everything like that. And so on. And what you decide to do, for example, what you pursue to an extent can be preordained to an extent. But you do also have choices in life. But sometimes you can't go against things that are preordained for you. But in general, like, a lot of people do things very willfully, and they never find the right path in life that they should be on. And a lot of people never really come to know themselves in terms of like, also everybody kind of has different types of way they are, in the sense that like how much rest you, for example, might need. Somebody might need less. Somebody has a more of a overthinking, very analyzing mind. Somebody has less, so you know, like everybody has a different kind of mind and the way they think and the way they operate in this world. Somebody might genuinely just be, I don't know if smarter is the right word, but like more thinking, analytical, in the sense that like I'm very, like, you could say like I can analyze and overthink and whatever, a lot of things. And so you kind of need some time maybe alone to self-contemplate and think about a lot of things and analyze everything, because especially if you're a type of person who absorbs kind of information a lot, and then you need to kind of contemplate through all that and analyze it in your head, then you kind of need some time off also. And it's very taxing when you're all the time thinking, and you're thinking about a lot of stuff and analyzing it through your system, in a sense. You need to kind of take some time off to regenerate, because if you're like working, which is when you're using your creative brain and brain in general, then you're thinking and everything else, and you're doing that the whole day, you're gonna get very exhausted in your brain, and your body in general is gonna get fatigued. So you kind of need to figure out what kind of a person you are and how much rest you need and what you do during your days that like fatigues you and how you operate. That way you can kind of get to know yourself and what you actually are like, and how to live more of an optimal life for you, so you can make better choices when it comes to like your routines, the way you act, and what choices you make. So in this is like the baseline for kind of getting to know yourself, and also getting to know your thoughts and actions, and noticing patterns and bad patterns and good behaviors and good patterns and so on. You kind of have to get to know yourself on this level, and kind of, if you don't have the ability to think like this, then you have to develop that ability. God will definitely help. If you pursue God, will definitely help you, lead you on the right path, so you can become better. If you're trying to do this by yourself, it will be much harder. Yes, you can make some progress on your own journey, sure. I've made some progress before I came into my faith, but I would say like with God it's just much easier, because you always have that guidance leading you, in a sense controlling you to the right path, rather than you trying to kind of letting the universe kind of do the things for you, rather than fighting and forcing against the universe and your own will, which is a lot harder of a life than it is to go with the flow of the universe and letting the universe for you, in a sense. So that's kind of like parts of getting to know yourself, and how when you get to know yourself like that, your life just becomes inherently much easier, and you don't have to fight against everything happening around you. Life, in a sense, happens for you, rather than you trying to force life to happen for you, in a sense, if you get what I mean. That's what a lot of people do, is they try to force things, and then they get very upset when it doesn't work. But it's like the universe controls, in a sense, God controls and orchestrates everything anyway. So why do you fight against that? Because you're just gonna suffer a miserable life and be very unhappy when you're fighting against your destiny and fate and everything else in life. And when you don't know yourself, you're gonna have a lot of issues when you don't know yourself. and you can't reach this state. When you don't know yourself, your life is kind of just miserable because you're always wondering like, where am I, who am I, what am I doing, what's my purpose here, you know? And if you don't know God as well, you're just gonna feel lost all the time and probably depressed and in darkness and so on. Sorry, the enemy doesn't really want for me to make this video apparently. So when it comes to getting to know yourself, you also have to come to know when you're letting other people kind of affect your life and controlling you, and inherently you're your own person and you can't let anybody's opinions and everything else dictate everything about your life, because that's not going to work for you. Everybody's a different person and you can't be attached to and let other people control your life. You're just going to become incredibly you're going to feel this bad all the time, because like when you are living other people's lives instead of living the life you're supposed to live, you're going to feel really bad. And that's kind of where God also comes in, is because God can remove these bad people from your life and lead you to the life that you actually are meant to live, that's good for you, if you just let God orchestrate and arrange it for you and you follow God. Because there's always hardship in life, but there's a lot more hardship in life when you don't follow God and you go in your own way and you try to get to know yourself and do what you want to do. That's always going to be harder than if you were to just go with God. So that's why I say it's so important to find God and get to know yourself, and I think you should do both at the same time. And it seems to me that a lot of people struggle with getting to know themselves and understanding themselves for some reason. But it's also, I think, to do with people's brains, as I said, and the way people are wired. So if you're wired in a way that you aren't very analytical and thinking it very deeply, then you might have more issues kind of analyzing your behaviors. For me, it comes pretty naturally. So if you're that kind of person, then I would suggest you maybe try to take time off and just self-contemplate on this and think more, even if you aren't the most deep thinker during the day and so on, and you don't overanalyze stuff so much and know the small stuff in your life and things you're doing. I would suggest you to kind of stop and think about what kind of a brain you have and what your thinking patterns are, so you can become better at understanding yourself. But in a nutshell, this is kind of what I wanted to say in this video, and I hope this kind of helps you understand yourself better and get on the right track of understanding yourself better and knowing yourself, because it's very important to know yourself so you can actually move to the right path in life and know this bad and good things and where you're supposed to be headed in life. There's a will, there's a way. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to donate, I appreciate it. It's in the description. And if you want self-improvement one-on-one coaching call, it's also in the description. Thank you.